Hey to all the spooks out there. Welcome back to another episode of Spine Chilling Chats, where every Wednesday we dig up the darkest corners of true crime, history, folklore, and the supernatural. I'm Ange.
And I'm Manda.
And Amanda's got some stuff for us today.
Yes, I do. I have some spooky and supernatural and killers in Alaska.
Alaska's abyss.
Okay, so everybody's heard of the Bermuda Triangle, and we covered Michigan's Triangle.
Mm-hmm.
What did they call it? They call it Michigan's Triangle, or did they call it something else? I can't remember.
I covered a bunch of different ones.
Oh, I thought you just did Michigan.
No, I did paranormal triangles.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, here's one in Alaska.
Which I did not cover.
No. This one is said to be the location of more unsolved missing person cases than anywhere in the world, including the Bermuda Triangle. It is made up of an area between Anchorage, is it Juneau?
Juneau, yeah.
In the south, and now forgive me, I'm going to say this wrong, but it is Utqiagvik, which is a small city in the northern coast of Alaska. It is estimated. Do you want to take a guess at how many people went missing?
500?
Okay. Since the early 70s, over 20,000 people have vanished. Considering how sparse the area is populated,
Yeah.
Because it's such a big state.
But they're just talking about in that triangle area,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. That 20,000 people. Isn't that crazy?
That's a lot. But, okay, like in our last episode, though, how many of those were actually missing, or are those indigenous women being sex trafficked?
I didn't really say it. It just said that
murdered but
an
not
estimated
found.
that well over 20,000 people have vanished in the land in that area. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The whole state of Alaska is an average of 2,250 people disappearing a year in the state. And just 20,000 alone in that triangle, like total since the 70s. That's crazy. That is twice the national average. Some high-profile people have gone missing in the Alaska Triangle, such as Thomas Hale Boggs, Sr., who is serving as the U.S. House Majority Leader, Nick Bagich, an Alaskan congressman, and two politicians in October 16, 1972, when they were flying a light aircraft from Anchorage to Juneau, along with Nick's aide, Russell Brown, and the pilot, Dan Jans. There was a search for the four...
Dan Jans?
Dan Jans. There was a search for the four missing people, but the plane or the bodies were never discovered. It sparked a conspiracy theory that Boss was a member of the War Commission, the official body to set up an investigation of the assassination of JFK, and reportedly disagreed with many of the group's findings. So they think that they think that they did that. Somebody brought down the plane on purpose because he went against the findings in the investigation. Another important person was Gary Frank Sotherden, 25-year-old New Yorker who traveled to the Alaskan wilderness in the 70s to go hunting. But he never returned home, and in the summer of 1997, a hunter found a human skull along the Porcupine River in northeastern Alaska. The DNA was recovered in 2022 that the skull belonged to Gary. And he died probably being mauled by a bear.
That's a horrible way to go.
Yeah, right? Like,
I can't even imagine.
instead of mystical forces and otherworldly explanations, it's pretty evident that the remote areas of Alaska are very easily a place to disappear. There are more caribou than people in Alaska. At just 730,000 people are living in Alaska, meaning just 1/20th of the percent of the state is inhabited. Like, that's crazy because the rest of it is untouched wilderness.
You know,
Ragged
I'd
mountains,
like to go
glaciers.
visit,
Me too.
even though it's cold.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like it's always like super cold.
I don't think it is always super cold.
There's a guy I went to high school with that he now lives out in Alaska. And so he's very outdoorsy, it appears. And like he's always on a lake fishing with his dog, which he has the cutest dog. And he's just always outside. I love looking at his pictures to see
like he's
the
adventurous.
landscape.
Yeah. So there are mountains, glaciers, bitterly cold weather, millions of lakes, countless crevasses,
crevasses, as Bear Grylls says,
vast valleys, and lots of bears. And some other theories suggest that Alaska Triangle is the site of unusual magnetic activity or high number of extraterrestrial alien visitors.
I think so.
And more likely, the explanations are easily of your chances of going missing in a vast and empty land full of natural dangers are relatively high.
Yeah, it's just you're out in wilderness and there's nobody to help if something bad happens.
Nope.
You're just kind of SOL.
Yep. So that's what I could find on the Alaska Triangle. Just 20,000 people have gone missing, some high profile people. They haven't really found a lot of them because
there's
you got to think
too
about it.
wide of an area to search.
Yeah.
And there's heavy snowfall. Like you said, there's lots of lakes.
Yeah.
Wildlife eating.
So don't go to the Alaska Triangle. If you do, stay right outside of it.
Know what you're doing and be with somebody that knows the area and how to survive in it.
Yeah, don't go alone.
Yeah.
The hell. So my next part of Alaska are 10 most haunted places in Anchorage, Alaska. Number 10, the Historic Anchorage Hotel, which was built in 1916. It was nothing more, Anchorage was nothing more but like they called it a tent city, set up on the banks of Ship Creek.
Not Shit Creek.
Not Shit Creek. Have you watched that?
I have not.
Oh my gosh.
I like watching the little reels of it on Facebook.
It.
I find it funny, but
I've
never watched it.
Funny.
Just like I've
asked you thrice.
I also like watching the little reels of The Big Bang Theory. Yeah, I have never watched the show.
That's like on loop at Mike's house.
Yeah, I've never watched the show, but I love watching the little clips. Like, I don't get to watch TV. Like, all I get to see are little snippets on my phone.
It's Schitt's Creek is so funny. Like, dude, I can't talk about it because I'll start laughing hysterically. And you haven't seen it, so it's not going to be funny to you, but it's funny. There's a pee the bed scene, and oh my God, it's hilarious. Hilarious. Laborers across the United States were drawn to the area hoping to find construction work on constructing the Alaskan Railroad. It has been known, or not known, but been, yeah, I guess I would say known, that it is haunted. And some guests are reluctant to check it out, like the Jilted Bride, which we'll get into that, playful children, and a police chief, to name a few. They've been there every day. It's become such an everyday life at the hotel that the staff maintains a ghost log, inviting guests to record what they witnessed.
A lot of haunted hotels are now doing that, where you can
Yeah.
write your little experiences if you had any.
So the unsolved murder is, according to a psychic who visited the hotel in 2012 during a paranormal investigation, almost 36 spirits occupy the hotel.
36?
Yeah.
Dang.
I know,
That's
but
a whole portal there.
Yeah, but I also kind of feel like it should be more. If you got to think about just alone in the triangle, unless they're stuck in the triangle.
But this is one building.
20,000 people have gone missing.
Yeah, it's throughout the whole area, though.
I know. It's just, I feel like it could be
And that
more.
doesn't necessarily mean 20,000 people have died.
Oh, that's true. Maybe they just got out and didn't tell anybody. I don't know.
Or they got picked up and sex trafficked.
Yeah.
Is it trafficked or trafficked? Trafficked?
No, trafficked.
Trafficked.
Because sex trafficking, sex trafficked. Whatever, guys. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of the most talked about stories in the Anchorage Hotel involves the Anchorage First Police Chief John J. Jack Black Sturgis. On February 20th, 1921 at 9:15 p.m., the police chief was found. Dun dun dun. Guess. Dead.
I just was thinking you were gonna say John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
His name is my name too. Whenever I go out,
the people always shout, "There goes John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt." Na 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 na.
Okay. The murder remains unsolved to this day, adding the sinister mystery that the fact that he was shot in the back with a bullet from his own gun. It's also been the site of numerous ghostly figures. One of the unsettling spirits is the jilted bride, who is said to have hung herself in the hotel. Guest employees have stated that they have seen her roaming the halls, still in her wedding dress, looking for the man who left her standing at the altar.
What an asshole.
I know. One guest details their encounter hearing strange taps on their door. Wouldn't that be creepy? Mike said he woke up. He texted me this morning, and he sent me videos of a deer in his front yard.
Mm-hmm.
Because he woke up, and then he heard his camera going off, and it was like a pet. And he was like, a pet? Like the turkeys are sleeping, the cat doesn't go in the front. So he looked up, and it was a deer. And I was like, oh, he wants a pet deer. So there's your pet deer.
He eats deer. You can't have a pet deer if you eat deer.
So I said, well, why are you even awake? He said, I heard noises in the kitchen. I said, what kind of noises? He said, it must have been the dog, but it kind of sounded like dishes moving. I said, okay. I got nothing to say about that. I've had my ghost experiences. Everybody else they can have theirs. Followed by pitter-pattering of children's footsteps, accompanying by giggling. That's the creepiest thing ever, I think. If you're not around or you don't see the child and you hear giggling, freaks me the fuck out.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Any voice, if you're not around people, if you're alone,
yeah,
is creepy. And if like your TV's not on or your phone's not,
yeah, like
any disembodied voice is going to be freaky as fuck.
There's a commercial on TV, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it is, but this little girl laughs and she goes, hee, and I was like, oh my God, that's the creepiest laugh ever. Like, I can't handle it. Children's, ugh. Yeah, just get
children,
children, gross. Another guest recorded a blood-curdling experience from October of 2011 that will leave the bravest people running and not looking back. Mm-hmm. According to what they experienced, the guest saw a small child standing in their closet, smiling.
Oh, man.
Isn't that creepy? Ooh. Told you, kids, gross. Kids. Ugh.
Any just smiling.
I got goosebumps from that. Ugh.
Have you seen that movie,
Smile? That's what I said. Your mouth looked like that movie.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
There's a Smile 2. I have not seen Smile 2. But Smile is kind of creepy.
I haven't seen it. I don't get to watch TV. I don't get to do anything. Have kids, they say.
It'll be fun, they said. I'm like, I just said kids. Ooh. No, I love kids. But
I love my kid.
Sometimes I just can't tolerate some kids. That's the other thing I wanted to tell you. My sister's husband, Rachel, he was like, hey, I'm doing my will next week. And I said, okay. He goes, so if Rachel and I happen to die together, you get Gavin. I said, I'm taking Ava too. And he said, yeah, you'll have them both.
Isn't Ava about grown though?
She's 12. But I get to have my niece and nephew if they die. I've been telling Ava that since she's been born. I was like, if your mom and dad die, you're coming to live with me and you're dressing like a nun because there none of this half shirt bullshit, booty short stuff. Mm-mm. So I've been teasing her like that for a while. And she really does get to come live with me.
She really does. Like, it's happening.
It's happening.
She's going to murder her brother.
I'm not going to murder them. No, because then I wouldn't get custody.
I mean, only if you get caught.
That's true. And I do watch a lot of crime documentaries, so I kind of know how to not get caught.
No, everybody gets caught.
Everybody does get caught. So eventually. Yeah, no, I'm not going to murder them.
Except for the Zodiac.
Number 9, Hotel Captain Cook.
Hey.
I know, right?
My maiden name is Cook. And, fun fact, my brother was a captain in the Air Force. So he was Captain Cook.
And you want to say where he works?
Cook Nuclear Plant.
Isn't that crazy? All right. There's more than one historic hotel in downtown Anchorage with its fair share of dark history. Hotel Captain Cook was built in 1965 by real estate developer Walter Hickel. He was eager to build the hotel and attempt to bring tourism to Anchorage. The city was crippled in a 9.2 magnitude earthquake that prior year. The building was named in honor of Captain James Cook, a British explorer cartographer who mapped the Alaska's coastline in 1778. And their story is the last stall on the left. One ghost is believed to make its female guests feel anything but welcome in the ladies' restroom of the lobby. Now, men, don't be that person who fucking haunts women's bathrooms because that's just fucking inappropriate. So yeah, inappropriate. Don't haunt women's bathrooms. Although women, I encourage you to go into the men's bathrooms.
I clean the men's bathrooms.
Well,
I don't
want to haunt it.
I don't suggest going anywhere.
Poke your head through the wall, look around, see what they got working for them, and then
they're just pooping in there.
Yeah, but you still sometimes you see penis.
I don't want to see penis.
No, penises are ugly.
No, but
they're ugly. Have you really I know you have, but have you really actually like looked at one?
Yes.
It's like, the fuck?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. You're all like,
I've seen a variety, shapes, sizes, colors, ages.
Oh, that's right.
I was a CNA at a nursing home, so
I've never seen an old one.
I have.
Is it old? Does it get wrinkly? Does it get small?
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah, it like little. But I don't know. I'm sure some who were blessed more
probably shrink to average size.
Yeah, are probably not as
much. Oh,
that's sad.
But. Okay, enough penis talk. It's supposedly where a young woman staying at the hotel tragically took her own life on the night of the grand opening of the hotel's second tower in 1972. Several guests visiting the bathroom over the years have repeatedly seen her, describing her as a young
Moaning
woman.
Myrtle.
Oh. Moaning Myrtle.
Moaning Myrtle.
Well, no, because this girl is described to be in her late 20s.
That lady looked like her late 20s.
Well, yeah, 30s. But she's not supposed to be.
Supposed to be a teenager looking like a 40-year-old Daniel Radcliffe in glasses.
Which, speaking of, I don't know how I feel about the new Harry Potter series.
You know, I'm
torn.
I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it, but
I'm worried that they're gonna ruin it.
Yeah.
But you know, we still have the originals.
Yeah. That's true.
And really the first probably like the first 4 movies are kind of slow and boring anyways, because it's really geared towards it matures as the kids mature.
Right.
So it's really
looking
geared
back,
towards
watching
children.
it now, it's like it's geared towards.
And you can tell it was like their real first acting job because they're all horrible actors in the first movie. like really
Hermione
bad.
was.
Yeah,
Emma
and
was.
Watson, you can see her mouthing the lines,
Yeah,
which is such a Hermione thing to do.
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so the guest said that she was a woman in her late 20s wearing a white dress and a stress-ridden face. She would make her presence known subtly sometimes. Faucets turn on and off on their own, lights flickering, and women suffering fainting spells while visiting the bathroom. Some guests have reported adjoining stall doors would open and close violently when no one else is present. And even more spine quivering,
Spine chilling.
a ghostly hand would grab their ankles.
Ew.
The stall to the left remains bolted to this day, while the mystery of what happened inside lingers.
You shouldn't ask too many questions about what happened in a bathroom.
No.
And why the door's bolted.
Nope. If there's a door that's bolted shut, now if it's locked, that's something different. But if it's bolted,
Out
I'm
of
not
order.
asking questions. Nope. I'm noping the fuck out of there. All right. So the next, number 8, Alyeska Ski Resort. If I'm saying it wrong, let me know. It was received by a handful of residents from a nearby town of Gridwood in the late 1950s. They shared a passion for skiing and saw tremendous potential on the mountain's location. It would prove right. The ownership of the resort steadily changed through the high-profile list of investors. That story is a cold way to go. One of the resort's most well-known incidents happened on April 11, 2008, when it hosted the Subaru Free Skiing World Championships. Colorado extreme skier John Nicoletta lost control trying to ski off of a head wall or steep cliff, consequently sending him tumbling down 3,000 feet to his death.
Oh, man.
Another tragic legend in the hotel is that the stockbroker staying in room 721. Nothing is wrong with that except for it's believed that he took his own life in that room 23 years ago. One guest saw the man's ghostly figure, and when attempting to make contact, he vanished.
The man or the ghost?
The ghost.
Oh.
I mean, well, it's a possibility that he vanished himself.
Yeah, he's one of those 20,000.
Right. More common occurrences consist of appliances operating independently in room 721, lights and televisions flickering, doors open and close on their own, and faucets turning on and off in the middle of the night. Number 7, Augustus. I like that. Augustus Seeberg House. Built in the early 1920s, the Seeberg House is a historical landmark in the heart of Anchorage and the physical culmination of the years of backbreaking work by Augustus Seeberg. Oh, that's his actual name. Okay. The Swedish-born immigrant came to the United States in 1909 and relocated to Alaska in 1915, when Anchorage was still in its infancy and there was plenty of work to be done on the Alaska Railroad. That story is called Gone Too Soon. Visitors have heard disembodied voices throughout the house, various cold spots, and even have been pushed by unseen force. More common occurrences involve the appearance of 2 apparitions, a man and a woman who each prefer their respective areas of the house. Many believe the man is Augustus Seeberg, unwilling to leave the house he worked so hard for. He's heard pacing the upper floors and sometimes seen on the staircase landing. Visitors have said that the woman is dressed in white. What's up with all these women dressed in white? I'm going to wear black. So,
Woman in black.
And is most often seen in the parlor room, as well as the main bedroom of the house. It's commonly believed the feminine apparition could be Seeberg's daughter, Helen, but more than one tragedy took place with the family. Seeberg outlived his daughter, Lillian, who died when she was only 16 years old from scarlet fever, and his wife, Christina, who died in Denver, Colorado, seeking medical treatment. So, they didn't say if they did anything weird. There's people who've seen them. Number 6, Ship Creek. Flowing from the Chugach Mountains into Cook Inlet, the river dubbed Ship Creek has a history that coincides with the city of Anchorage itself. It was a port and a rail hub because of its strategic access to the Pacific Ocean. And in 10 years, the initial tent city grew into the city of Anchorage. Much growth of this scenic location was witnessed in the past century. It also bore witness to some of Anchorage's most evil moments. Several brutal murders took place in the area over the span of 30 years, which I'm not going to get into that because my next episode, I think I'm going to cover some killings. So bear with me. But there was one that has many locals getting goosebumps every time they visit the area. Her name is Marie. A young lady was found murdered in the waters of Ship Creek in 1987. So that's kind of recent. Yeah. Recent.
Like almost 40 years ago.
Right. Well, the other one occurred in 2016, so that's even more recent, when the bodies of a man and a woman were found. An even more disturbing discovery was made in 2024 when human remains were found at the construction site near Ship Creek. There's one murder, though, that has locals consistently staying vigilant when they find themselves walking along Ship Creek's waters. Legend has it that the native Alaskan woman named Marie was brutally murdered at Ship Creek in 1987. Some say she serves as a protective spirit, mainly to homeless natives, warning them not to loiter. Others have seen her cry out for help as she runs across the creek in fear for her life.
Aww.
I know, isn't that sad?
That's sad. Like, if there is like an afterlife and the one you get is you still just full of panic and terror, like, how horrible.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
you deserve to have some peace.
Like, I don't know if you've ever seen. Have you ever seen Get Out?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's a pretty good movie. I made Mike watch it last night, but he hits this deer and it reminds him of his mom. His mom died of a hit and run, and he said Mike kept saying, "What's the significance of the deer? What's this?" Because he went up and watched the deer like lay there cold and alone and dying, and that's what he pictured his mom. She was cold and alone and dying, and nobody was helping her because nobody knew, and it was a hit and run. Like, isn't that sad? Like, to die like that, cold and alone and in pain, and you're just slowly dying. I can't.
That's why we should all have that little pill that we can bite on and die quickly.
Yeah.
If we so choose.
Just carry a gun with you.
No.
You don't think you can do that?
No, I would not have the courage to do that.
I don't think I would either, but do I want to slowly die or do I want to get it done and over with? I don't know. Number 5, the family-owned Demand Center Mall is a shopping center in South Anchorage and the largest enclosed shopping mall in Alaska. The mall consisted of 40 retail outlets but expanded to several phases over the next 4 decades. A forgotten Native American gravesite supportably lies right underneath the foundation of the hustle and bustling mall. Standing as a reminder of Alaska's earliest residents, it was revealed that when workers discovered human remains during construction, work continued, and now several restless spirits dwell among the hustle and bustle.
That's what they did in Mackinac.
Mm-hmm.
They just built right on over them.
This story says, check the bathrooms and hallways. If we've learned anything from the hit horror movie Poltergeist, it's never to build something on top of a burial ground. Builders uncovered graves, and since then, the mall has a wide range of disturbing occurrences that make it one of the spookiest places to shop in America. Not just in Alaska, in America. Lone shoppers have experienced seeing the apparitions of people dressed in traditional Native American clothing in the bathrooms and some of the smaller hallways. Rumor has it that the transparent wolves have also been seen roaming the Demand Center Mall floors. What's more chilling about this figure is that it almost directly correlates to the ancient belief Alaskan natives hold of the Quileute, an evil spirit embodied in the form of a hairless dog.
Oh, I hate hairless animals.
Oh, Ezra, I forgot to tell you, Ezra wants a hairless cat.
No,
and so do I.
They're so nasty. They are so nasty. They just don't feel right.
I know, and I love it.
Oh, no, I wouldn't touch it.
You won't touch my kitty?
No, I'm not going to pet your bald cat, okay?
You're not going to pet my pussy?
No, not your bald pussy.
Damn it. All right, number 4, Inlet Tower Hotel and Suites. Originally an apartment building constructed in 1951-1952, the hotel made Alaskan history when it became the state's first high-rise. The building's resilience included its survival of the effects of Anchorage's 1964 earthquake is a testament to its longevity. There's still plenty of mystery that enshrouds the iconic hotel to present day.
We can hear the TV upstairs.
It leaves guests with spine-tingling experiences.
Spine chilling?
Thanks to the presence of the hotel's two spectral residents who don't plan on leaving anytime soon, a girl and a man. This story is called Going Up. Going up. The most common apparition is that of a little girl. Guests sometimes hear her playing on the ground floor. At other times, it's been reported that her ghostly figure has been seen roaming the hotel's halls, with her laughter resounding through the corridors. Oh, I cannot do it. Guests have also claimed to see the ghostly apparition of a male. The man's spectral figure is often seen hanging around the elevator. Witnesses have allegedly stated that the otherworldly gentleman can be seen standing in the elevator, going up and down. At other times, guests who approached the man said that he had vanished into thin air. So,
it's harder to vanish in thick air.
I think so too. Number 3, the Alaska Triangle, which we already covered. So that's one of the 10 most spookiest places. I'll read it anyway. The Alaska Triangle, dubbed the Bermuda Triangle of Alaska, is believed to have hold several secrets about why 20,000 people have crossed the borders and never been seen again. Many have blamed the challenging terrain, which is unfriendly to those without basic survival skills. However, when an additional disappearance of several aircrafts are considered, this doesn't touch the tip of the spine-tingling mystery iceberg.
Spine chilling.
The most famous example dates back to the disappearance of U.S. House Majority Leader Hale Boggs Sr. And the other 4 men that we talked about, or the other 3 men we talked about. This story is called Home to Something Other Than Human. The Alaska Triangle remains shrouded in ominous? Is that how I say it? Oh, it sounds weird. Like you're saying library. You know what I mean?
Ominous, I can still see the dots on your eyes.
Oh my God.
Oh,
don't look at me.
It's so freaky.
I got a little bit of my, because I do my top waterline, and I got a little bit of my eyeliner on my contact, and it's freaking her out.
Oh, you just see on the white part of her eye, it's just, there's black. It doesn't look right.
Okay. Well, over 2,250 Alaskans disappear every year within its borders. It didn't say that in the other one when I was doing the research on that. It didn't say within the borders. It just says a year in Alaska. So apparently that's 2,200 in the Alaska Triangle, which is twice the national average for missing people. One of these instances happened in 1986 when a crew of Japanese planes flying from Iceland to Anchorage witnessed what seemed like 3 separate aircrafts following their flight pattern for 400 miles before disappearing after 30 minutes. The witnesses reported that the crafts were darting in and out of their line sight, and the whole time and performing aerial maneuvers that were unlike anything ever seen before with the average plane, which they're saying is aliens. So,
I believe it.
Number 2, Snow City Cafe. 1998, Snow City Cafe has continued to attract patrons from all over. Some come specifically to encounter a playful ghost whose murder remains unsolved. Like they come to play with the fucking ghost. She was Muriel. Oh, I like that name, Muriel. File. Pfiel. File. One of them is silent. The owner of the first travel agency to open in Anchorage, where Snow City Cafe still stands today. She was also the unfortunate victim of the only car bombing to happen in Alaska.
It's probably File, like Pfeiffer.
Feel.
Yeah, feel.
Yeah. Around noon on September 30th, 1976, 41-year-old Feel crossed the street to her Volvo station wagon. She wanted to show her employees a new coat that she had bought. So she opened the door. Just as she entered, a bomb exploded underneath the hood.
Oh.
I know. She was killed instantly. Many people had a good feeling about who was behind her tragic murder. Fields' ex-husband, Neil McKay.
How could you do that to somebody that you at one point loved?
That's what I don't understand, why people kill their exes or
their
spouses.
Their spouses. Yeah, you know,
You
if you don't
love that person,
if you don't want to be with somebody anymore,
let them be with somebody else. Don't kill them for it.
Just walk away.
Yeah. McKay was a wealthy and well-connected lawyer in the Alaska legal arena. On the other side of this same coin, he was also a ruthless businessman and alcoholic who immorally got his law license suspended by the Alaska Supreme Court several years earlier after he was caught stealing money from an elderly client. He and Muriel were also entangled in a legal custody battle involving their son, Neil Scotty McKay Jr., leading up to the time of Muriel's murder. This other story is called When the Lights Go Down.
When the lights go down in the city.
At night, when all but a few employees are left to close for the night, Muriel's playful ghost decides to make her presence known. Her favorite prank is turning the faucets and lights on and off. On one occasion, a longtime employee tasked with closing had to reprimand Mrs. Muriel for playing with the water in the kitchen and the bathroom.
Yeah, bitch, you ain't paying for the bills anymore.
Because it created more work for him.
You turn off that water and you keep the lights off. Unless you're going to chip in on the...
Sorry, I feel like I have a hair down my shirt. Right. Chip in on the bill or get the fuck out. Another employee encountered Muriel when she came in early for her shift to get some extra work done. Almost immediately, she heard the sound of someone laughing and a cabinet closing. Thinking it sounded like another employee, she called her at home, only to find her coworker was still fast asleep in bed.
That pissed me off too. I'm sleeping and you calling me, wake me up. Deal with the ghost on your own.
Right. The fuck? It's just a ghost.
It's just a ghost.
Number 1, Wendy Williamson Auditorium. It was built to be the Performing Arts Center. The auditorium's construction creates an unsettling atmosphere in and of itself. It was shut down for the first 18 months of construction due to insufficient funds. But then blueprints changed so much during the building phase that the auditorium resembles an eerie Rubik's Cube to this day. That would be kind of cool. Looks like a Rubik's Cube. I don't know.
Oh, in what sense though?
Well, it says the doors open to a solid wall, an elevator shaft leads to nowhere, and a catwalk that's visible to no one.
It sounds like that house that lady kept building and building and building so the spirits wouldn't catch her.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it's like a famous haunted house. I think it's in California somewhere.
I have to look at it.
Yeah.
This one's called A Ghoulish Cast. One of the ghosts that haunts the auditorium is believed to be John Williamson, who does not like the portrait of himself that used to hang on the center wall of the auditorium's main lobby. Managers reported that every time the portrait was hung up, it would be found on the ground the next day, like my skull.
Yeah.
This happened repeatedly until one night, in another attempt to hang the portrait up, the wire on the back snapped and fell to the ground, tearing the carpet and breaking the floor beneath it.
Dang.
I know.
How big is this picture?
Right. The picture and the frame were left unharmed, but it gave a good enough reason for the managers to tuck it away back into storage. Many have also heard the melodic tunes gracefully being played in the auditorium's piano, only to find no one was there when they go to see who the musician is. The auditorium is also home to a handful of other spirits, with one dubbed the Angry Man. His notoriety came when the auditorium hosts a Miss Alaska pageant. A contestant was violently shoved and sent tumbling down the stairs. This happened to the same contestant the following night, but this time, thanks to a black backless dress, witnesses could see bruises on either side of her spine in the shape of a palm.
Mm-hmm. There was another girl.
That's it for the 10 most haunted places. And then I have ghosts and ghouls. Also, the saber wolf. The Inuit people have an old legend about an evil spirit that manifestos as a giant wolf and bites off heads of its victims.
Ah.
But is it a legend? There have been a few reported sightings, enough to cause theories about what's roaming in the wilderness.
I mean, have there been stories of actual decapitated people?
I don't know.
Like,
it could be a dire wolf, they said.
oh.
I know. This is at the Aptel Studio Hotel, I believe. Ghosts and Urban Legends. The other one's called the Kushtaka. Kushtaka? Another native legend, the Kushtaka are otter human shapeshifters living in rivers or along the shore. They scream as if in distress to lure people to their water so they can steal souls.
Oh my.
Although they are by no means confined to the water, reports have come in that a pack of Kashtuka have chased people on land. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to Alaska anytime soon.
I'd go. We want to take Aurora for like her graduation present or her 18th birthday or something, so she could hopefully see the Aurora Borealis.
Oh yeah, you can see that through your camera, but it's always so late at night.
We tried, not this past time because it was like last week you were supposed to be able to. But when everybody was getting these pictures, we tried and we couldn't get it.
Anything.
No,
I think it's too light out. Not too light out, but like too much light pollution
probably. But people like, I think Trent, he posted pictures and he lives a few blocks from me.
Yeah. And he lives a few blocks. Yeah. Cool. We live by each other.
Yeah.
So it's like she lives here. Wait, how does it go? She lives here. Like Trent would live here and I would live over here. Like Trent and I live on the same blocks this way. And then Trent lives just down around the corner from her. I live down around the corner the other way. So.
Oh, you did your nails.
Yeah.
About time.
I know. And then I fucking broke that one.
You've been black for a while.
I have been black for a while because I was going through a depression phase.
Were you?
I was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I worked it out. I got it figured out. Good. I think. For the most part, I'm all right. So I did black. So when you see black, just know thumbs up. All right. So the Golden North Hotel, echoes of the past in Skagway. The Gold Rush era in Skagway, Alaska, brought about the Golden North Hotel, which stands as a historical landmark. Stories of lingering spirits and inexplicable sounds have surrounded the building for years. Guests and staffs have reported sightings of ghostly apparitions, particularly in the hallways where a sense of a bygone era still lingers, sending shivers down the spines of visitors. Now, remember when I covered Eklutna, Annie?
Yes.
Okay, this is an Eklutna cemetery haunting grounds of the native spirits. Eklutna Cemetery is a burial ground near Anchorage and is shrouded in the mystique and local folklore. Local folklore. The spirit houses found at this cemetery are believed to be shelters for the spirits of the deceased. Visitors recount eerie encounters, feeling a strong presence and witnessing unexplained phenomena, and are attributed to the resting spirits. The Red Onion Saloon. Now, what kind of name is that?
I'd check it out.
Haunted past in historic Skagway. The Red Onion Saloon in Skagway, Alaska, holds a rich history and a reputation for ghostly occurrences. Formerly a brothel during the gold rush, is rumored that some spirits from the past linger within its walls. Staff and visitors have reported strange noises, apparitions, and a sense of unease in certain areas of the building, adding to its haunted reputation. Last one for this, and then we'll get into the killers, which there isn't a lot of those. But like I said, I'm going to cover the killers in another episode. Fort Richardson, a military base with ghostly visitors. Fort Richardson, a military base near Anchorage, has its own share of paranormal tales. Numerous stories circulate about ghostly soldiers seen patrolling, mysterious sounds in abandoned buildings, and unexplained phenomena experienced by military personnel. The historic relevance of this site fuels the legends and attracts ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts. So, check it out if you want to, I guess. Fort Richardson in Alaska. So now we have some serial killers. Alaska's long history of serial killers.
The Butcher Baker.
Ugh.
I think that's their most notorious.
Well, Edward Krause is Alaska's first known serial killer, and he was responsible for the deaths of at least 10 men between 1912 and 1915, killing them for their real estate holdings and bank balances.
Wow.
His real identity was Edward Klump, a U.S. Army deserter. He was sentenced to hang, but escaped 2 days before his execution. He met his end when a homesteader shot and killed him for a $1,000 reward. Klutuk, the Mad Trapper of Bristol Bay, was a Yupik trapper named for a small tributary of the Nushagak River in western Alaska. Between 1919 and 1931, he stalked trappers and prospectors in the wilderness between Cook Inlet and Kuskokwim River. Fiercely territorial, he supposedly killed 20 or more men he perceived as infringing on his domain. After an exhaustive manhunt that covered several thousand square miles, a U.S. Marshal found the remains he claimed to be Klutuk in a cabin near the Chatna River. My gosh, these names. There's a picture of the Alaskan Triangle that you could use. I thought it would be cool. All right. Harvey Carignan killed 58-year-old Laura Showalter in the territory of Alaska in 1949 while stationed in the U.S. Army in Anchorage. Although Showalter was his only Alaskan victim, Carignan also killed 2 young women in Washington, one who answered a help wanted ad he posted for his gas station, and 2 women in Minnesota. He died in prison in Minnesota. All right. Thomas Richard Bundy was serving at Elson Air Force Base near Fairbanks. I looked up Thomas Bundy, and I don't believe we covered him, but the name just sounds familiar.
I've listened to his case. I know, because that name was very familiar.
Yeah. He murdered 5 girls and a young woman between 1979 and 1981. With no physical evidence to hold him in Alaska, Bundy was able to transfer to Shepherd Air Force Base in Texas. He finally confessed in 1988, but killed himself before the detectives could apprehend him. Joshua Allen Wade claimed to have killed his first victim on an Anchorage bike trail when he was 14. He went on to kill 4 more people, including his neighbor, a nurse practitioner, after forcing her to give up her ATM and PIN. He shot her in the head and buried her body. He is serving a life sentence in a federal prison in Indiana. James Dale Ritchie started killing in 2016 when he shot a homeless woman and a male acquaintance. 26 days later, he shot a young man, presumably for his bicycle, which he rode away from the scene. A month later, he killed a homeless man and a young environmental activist out on a late-night bike ride. Ritchie himself was killed during a gunfight with the Anchorage police. Robert Christian Hansen was the most notorious of the Alaskan serial killers, called the Butcher Baker, because he owned a bakery a short distance from Merrill Field, where he kept his plane. From 1971 to 1983, he abducted, raped, and murdered at least 17 Alaskan girls and women, many of whom were exotic dancers or sex workers. Some he flew out to remote locations in his Piper Super Cub and hunted them in the wilderness with a semi-automatic rifle. When Hansen was apprehended, investigators found an aeronautical chart with 37 X marks on it, leading officials to believe that he was responsible for far more deaths than he claimed. Yeah. Hansen was only formally charged with the murders of 4 victims. Of these, only at Eklutna Annie. Mm-hmm. You covered Eklutna Annie. I thought I did.
I didn't cover Eklutna Annie.
I thought I did. Yeah, I did. And has not yet been identified. He died of natural causes in 2014 while serving a life sentence.
He also, I believe, kept jewelry from his victims.
Yes. Long-haul trucker John Joseph Fountainberry confessed to killing 6 people across 5 states, including Jefferson Diffie, a miner at the Greens Creek silver mine near Juneau. After pleading guilty to killing Diffie, and given a 99-year prison term in Alaska, he was extradited to Ohio, where he was sentenced to death for previously killing and robbing Joseph Darren Jr., a good Samaritan who helped stopped to offer him a ride. Fountainberry was executed there by lethal injection in 2009. Okay, although Israel Keyes is believed to have committed multiple murders from 2001 to 2012, he has identified only 3 by name: William and Lorraine of Essex, Vermont, and Samantha Koenig, a barista in Anchorage. In 2007, after living for 6 years on the Manda Reservation, Keyes left Washington State for Alaska, where he started contracting business. It was during one of his many trips to the lower 48 that he meticulously stalked William and Lorraine Currier. 2 years prior to the killing of the Curriers, Keyes had buried? Yes. Buried near their home a 5-gallon drum of guns, ammunition, and silencers, zip ties, and duct tape. Using the contents of this murder kit, he tortured and murdered the Curriers, a middle-aged couple he had never met before, and left them to rot in an abandoned farmhouse. The Curriers' remains were never found. 18-year-old Samantha Koenig was a barista at Common Grounds Coffee stand when Keyes abducted her at gunpoint on February 1st, 2012. He took her to a shed just a few feet from his home, where he sexually assaulted and killed her. He then left on a 2-week cruise in the Gulf of Mexico. Must be nice. What if I can kill people and then go on a cruise? Relax. When he returned, he applied makeup to Koenig's face, sewed her eyes open with fishing line, and photographed her with a 4-day-old issue of the Anchorage Daily News to make it appear she was still alive. He posted a ransom note demanding $30,000 in a local park, after which he dismembered Koenig's body and disposed of it in the Matanuska Lake, north of Anchorage. Officials tracked the use of the dead woman's ATM card as Keyes moved across southern United States. He was finally arrested in Texas and extradited to Alaska. He died by suicide on December 2nd, 2012. He was born in Utah to a Mormon family. Fountainberry was from Connecticut. Bunday was from Tennessee. Hansen was from Iowa. For these killers, Alaska was as far as they could go, literally and figuratively. Alaska encompasses 365 million acres, only 160 of which have been settled by humans.
Wow.
Only 1,580 sworn law enforcement officers safeguard the landmass, twice the size of Texas.
Jeez.
That's it. May these killers believe their unthinkable crimes would be undiscovered or unpunished in this sparsely populated. Maybe. I don't mean maybe. Maybe these killers. Victims are lost here as well, never to be found, like so many of Hansen and Keyes' casualties. Bodies decomposed, undisturbed in pristine lakes, or scattered by animals strewn into the darkness of the long Alaska nights. And that's all she wrote. Wow. So covered a lot of different things, but that's
in Alaska's abyss.
Alaska's abyss. So I'm not saying don't go to Alaska, but be prepared when you go to Alaska, because there are supernatural, extraterrestrial. The hell is that? Serial killers.
Yeah, and the biggest monster of all, humans.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So take care while going to Alaska. Keep your eyes peeled, because the animals alone will get you too.
Yeah.
If it ain't a human, if it ain't a
ghosty or
a ghost or an extraterrestrial, it'll be the animals. So
if you have ever been to Alaska and have any stories you'd like to share with us, please send them in to spinechillingchatspodcast@gmail.com. Or you could enter them on our website at www.spine-chillingchatspodcast.com, along with any other cryptid sightings you've seen, any
fairy fucking, or
if you've seen Bigfoot, we want to know, is everything big? If you have any glitches in the Matrix, any other true crime you'd like us to cover,
check out our pictures, our bios, our merch.
We got some Bigfoot merch on there, some aliens. We got a new summer line, Booze and Blooms.
Booze and Blooms. Yep.
So check it out.
Yep. Find us on any podcast platforms.
Yep.
As well as
YouTube,
Facebook,
Instagram,
TikTok.
That's it.
That's it. So.
Yeah. And we're going to be having a bonus episode probably sometime this month.
Yes.
That has some hauntings from a friend and our
ghost
investigation at the Beeson. Some like
which
takeaways.
We're doing, in case you guys forgot, we're doing on Friday, June 13th. So Friday the 13th.
And I will be coming at you next week with cryptids from Alaska. So look forward to that. And that's it. Yeah. So we're going to be doing Alaska this month. And it's going to be cool.
Yeah. So far, it's cool.
Yeah.
So far, it's very interesting.
Ice cold.
Ice cold. So cool. Cool side of the pillow.
Spine-chillingly cool. Well, we hope you enjoyed this. We hope you come back. And most of all, we hope you
keep it spooky.
Bye, guys.
Bye.